I'm going to create the boss for this level now. I'm just going to get rid of some of these things. Let's stick that up here so it's not interfering with that. And create these sprites. So insert new object, sprite, game level. There's no animation to the main boss sprite. Open. Let's have a look at that. I'm just going to adjust the collisions a bit more. Something like that. And let's rotate it. Oh, so it's facing in the right direction. And then set the angle to 70. 90. So it's facing down. Just stick it here for the time being. And the idea, it has these kind of 3 missile silo kind of pods on it. So I'm just going to rename this boss bug. And then I'm going to insert some new sprites. And this one's got an animation. So right click, import frames from sprite strip. There's the boss pod, and it's got 5 cells. Let's delete the first cell. I'm just going to go through and like crop all these images. So it says this button here, crop transparent edges, so they're all the same. Let's check the origin points so they're not set right. So quick assign middle and apply to the whole animation. And the same, we need to rotate everything the right way. And the idea is these pods open and close. So I'm going to set the first animation, I'm going to call it open, and then let's preview that. So it opens like that and stays open. And the speed is fine, I don't need it to loop or anything like that. And to make it close, I'm going to duplicate. And then on animation 2, let's make sure I'm in the right one. I'm going to swap these frames around and drag them like that. So this one will be the close animation. Oops. Let's go back into that sprite. Animation 2, rename that close, and just have a quick preview of that. Yep. Because I'm going to use these to kind of trigger the firing behavior, and also the enemy is only going to be vulnerable when the pods are kind of open. So what I want to do is position these in these kind of cavities, because they'll get destroyed, and leave these kind of holes. So let's rotate that around, use the arrow keys to put it in position, Control C, Control V. Let's rotate this around roughly in the right place, use the arrow keys to put it in position, Control C, Control V, and let's rotate this around. Because what I'm going to do is pin these sprites to this boss sprite, and what it'll do is it's like it's literally kind of acts like a pin. So as this boss sprite moves, then anything pinned to it will move in the same way and stay in position. So I'm going to rename this boss pod. And behavior I'm going to add to this is the pin behavior. So stick kind of object maintaining relatively distance and angle. I'm also going to create a sprite for a turret. Although we've already got a turret, I want to create a separate object to avoid any sort of conflict. So let's just rotate that same way. Let's zoom in. Same drill as before. Add some image points. Image point 1 goes on there. Image point 2 goes on there. And the origin wants to be in the center of the turret. And you're going to call this turret boss turret. Let's zoom in a bit more. Hold down the control key and the middle scroll wheel. Let's rotate that 90. I'm going to sort of put them on these kind of imaginary sort of hard points. Control C, Control V. Stick one there. Obviously in playtesting we can adjust the amount of turrets. Control V, I'm going to have 3 for the moment. And I'm also going to put the pin behavior on this as well. Okay, so yeah, just bear in mind you're going to have these 2 turrets, boss turret and the normal turret. It's going to be easy to get confused, I think. And generally the kind of programming for this boss enemy is going to be pretty complex. There's a lot of kind of switches involved and variables. I'm also going to make another projectile sprite, and this one is an animation, so import frames from sprite strip. It's just a simple 2 frame and 2 cells. Get rid of this one, and the default, set it to loop, and the speed is going to be 25, and we can preview that. Yep. And make sure that we rotate it to the right, facing the right way for all the frames. It kind of helps if you kind of create your frames facing in the right direction in the first place, to avoid having to do this. And we need to set the origin point. Let's zoom in a bit. Origin point, quick assign the middle. Actually, I'm just going to move it to the kind of base of the missile there. Apply to the whole animation, and let's just check the collision mask. Yeah, it doesn't need to be that big, so let's just bring it in just to the actual missile kind of cone, like so. And apply to the whole animation. Everything's set up. And just going to put this over to the side and rename that missile.